I think men are bad at communication. I think women are experts at everything.
Some of the girls I've talked to, the first thing they ask, they're like, how tall are you? And I'm like, bro, that shouldn't matter.
All right, so the topic of discussion today is if modern feminism, as it is and is promoted, is it having more of a negative or positive impact on our society? What do you think?
A huge impact on our society. I've had 4 wonderful sisters and a wonderful mom. That's why I'm very conscious of my views, especially when it comes to specifically sexism. So to me, it's all good. It's all good in the hood. Even the bad is good. The more discussion about this subject, the better.
So you think, as it is, it's having more of a positive impact?
100%.
Okay, got you. When we think of feminism at its root, it was initially started to help women get the right to vote, to be able to enter the workforce. These are all things that in 2025 we should all universally agree on, but it's transformed and had these different phases. And this is why we're having this conversation, because a lot of people feel that it's gone away from its initial roots, which is like fighting for equal rights, to like literally trying to deteriorate the home and values of marriage. What do you have to say about that?
Those people, they're 100% wrong. We don't have the ERA right now, and we still don't have equal pay when it comes to our population here in the United States. So we're still way far behind, especially when you compare us to other Western countries or even non-Western countries like South Africa.
So you feel in the United States in 2025, women are not getting equal pay to men?
It's an absolute fact. They are not getting equal pay, and that's why the ERA is still very important. And
wait, what's the ERA?
Equal Rights Amendment.
Oh, okay. Why are women so bad at communication? What do you think?
I think men are bad at communication. I think women are experts at everything. I totally agree with that.
Okay.
I have 4 sisters and 1 from mom,
Right.
and they taught me everything about my sexist behavior, and that still stays that is still a part of my core. I'm very lucky that I was growing up in a matriarchal society, because this is such a maternalistic man culture all the way around the world.
So you don't believe in patriarchal values?
No, I believe in matriarchal.
Like the
and
man is the head of household and all this?
Oh, I definitely don't believe that. I believe women should be the head of the household. They brought us here. They leave us here. More than likely, when you were born, and your siblings, that kind of stuff, you were born by a woman. But more importantly, women were probably present when you were born, whether they be MDs or nursing assistants. And when you die, sir, when you die, women will probably be around you when you take your last breath, whether it be a spouse or whomever, or a nurse, or a female physician and such.
Yeah, I do recognize the value of women in the household 1,000%. I believe as humanity we would be nothing without the nurture of a mother. I don't believe any other human or creature has the ability to show love or represent God's love like a mother's love. So that's for sure. But I can attest from a personal perspective that growing up without a father, without having a strong male in the household, had a profound impact on my life, and it was not positive at all, to be honest with you.
No, I understand.
Although I did have a loving grandmother that gave me love, and I love her to death, but not having that strong male role model definitely impacted me.
I agree with that, and that's life, and there's great inequities, but my mom was widowed early, and she did a hell of a job against the greatest circumstances, and sometimes people are blessed just by one parent, but I agree with Hillary Clinton. Sometimes it takes a village.
Oh, yeah, I would agree with that. All right, let's see. One more question. Is it okay for women to have standards for men without having the requirements for them? And if DU Films wants to elaborate, he can. What do you think about that? I could repeat it if you want.
It's ambiguous, the question at best. It's leading, but that's fine. I think this is how I flatter myself.
Yeah.
If vive la différence, but this is how I flatter myself. This is my own little made-up quote. If everyone was like me, it'd be a very boring world, and I also wouldn't have sex.
Okay, all right.
And when I want to tear you down, and I do this often, I say to friends or someone that's rubbing me the wrong way, or a good friend, I say, if everyone was like you, it'd be a very boring world. So I really like vive la différence. You know, we're all individuals, and we all can bring something. And there's a lot to be said for nature, but also there's a lot to be said for nurture.
So you said we all have to bring something, and I would be inclined to agree. I would say that what is required for a man to bring to the table is disproportionate to what women bring to the table. Would you agree or disagree with that?
I disagree with that 1,000%.
Okay.
Again, individuality, and we don't have enough of a chance in this Western world to explore our own individualism, and it's because it's the Western world, Western society, but also we live in a capitalistic society. So we really have to focus on putting food on the table, being safe, you know, getting to work, and maintaining. It's a very, very, very difficult world for all the world's people.
Yeah.
So I live a lot of luxury, being early retired, so I can have in her life a lot of retrospective, but a lot introspective. But that's, you know, my opinion about that we all have a lot of power, and we don't get a chance to exhibit only because we're just so busy in a capitalistic world, and we have to be.
Okay. All right, man. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate your input, man. What was your name again?
White Mike, lowercase.
White Mike. Yeah, Jesus.
W.
Jesus.
Guys, you have to join me.
We need the young male perspective.
Wait,
So-
are you guys on like TikTok?
TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff.
Okay,
Yeah,
I got you. All right.
right.
Help me.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you some just spitfire questions. Give your initial response. Be honest, whatever you think. All right.
Cool.
So the first question, like I mentioned, is as a male, do you think feminism in 2025 is having a positive or negative impact on our society today?
I would say negative, but I would also say that it's not just the females, it's also the males like contributing. Like it takes two to like do something like that, and I kind of just feel as if they're taking advantage of a lot of like new rules and stuff that are going on.
Gotcha.
I agree.
The one thing I want to make a distinction of is that he's willing to accept accountability. We just interviewed a female, and she placed all the blame on men. So this is why we want to have these dynamic conversations.
Both. Yeah, 100%. It's definitely not just one way.
Gotcha. All right, next. Anybody else? What do you think? Do you think feminism in 2025 is having a positive or negative impact on our society?
Definitely a negative.
All right.
They always take the fault on other people and not themselves, and never take accountability for themselves. Even when they're 100% in the wrong, they try to flip it and turn it away to somebody else or something else.
So I'm much older than you guys. So like, you know, dating in the 90s for me, it was much easier. But it seems like these days, like men and women are at odds. So give me an idea of what the scope is like for you guys to like even start talking to a female.
Well, I mean, I feel like a lot of it stems from social media now, like 100%. Snapchat, Instagram, all those types of platforms, and it's like you don't really like, you can't really trust because a lot of the women around nowadays aren't really loyal and stuff, so you kind of like have to have that feeling or that expectancy that there is somebody else, and it's just like that's what makes it so hard at the same time.
So you feel in 2025 there's not as much loyalty?
Yeah, definitely not as
Social
much
media
loyalty.
killed it.
I feel like this might be a little bit too much, but sex is used more as like a hobby more than something, you know, that's supposed to be.
Are you guys Christian?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right.
Yeah.
So do you, nice. We just got out of church, so do you think like women are not keeping up like traditional Christian values these days?
I would say so, yeah.
100%.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna put it on the men now.
Yeah.
How are men falling short in 2025? So let's take accountability
In what
first.
aspects?
Like in dating, when it comes to male and female engagement, like what are we doing wrong? How can we initially take responsibility and accountability before we point the finger at them?
I mean, if you're talking about like the whole dating aspect and the feminism thing, like you said, like in the 1990s, it was a lot different. Like the male was expected to provide, while the female was supposed to stay at home, take care of the kid, clean the house and stuff. And I don't know, that's just like what I've learned so far. But I feel like in this day and age, a lot of men don't really work as much, and they kind of just expect to get by. And I feel like that's kind of how, like, the, I guess, environment we've grown up in is like a lot of kids get things handed to them and they don't really get that true work ethic.
Gotcha. That was a good response. All right, now let's flip it back on the women. Why are women so bad at communication?
There's gotta be dad problems.
Huh?
Dad problems.
No.
Dad problems?
Daddy issues, bro.
I'd say it would go back to the accountability.
Yeah.
Definitely. And it's more about comprehension than communicating, because you can talk to someone as much as you want, but if they don't really listen and try to understand what you're saying in your point of view, then it doesn't do anything.
Do women, like, do girls like ghost you guys, like when you guys are like having conversations?
It happens.
yeah.
It happens, 100%.
Wow. All right. Does body count matter when it comes?
Yes. Okay. I got a good explanation. Okay. So take a water bottle.
Yeah,
or like
take
a cup of water.
All right.
Dip your hand in it 10 times.
That's what he said. All right.
Right? Dip your hand in it 10 times. The water is dirty. Grab the cup 10 times. You'd still drinking the water.
Yeah, you're still drinking that water.
You're still drinking it.
Okay. Anybody else? Does body count matter?
I have another analogy. So, if you take a piece of tape and you stick it to a wall and take it off and stick it to another wall, the tape is no longer gonna stick. You know, there's
gonna
no,
wear out.
yeah, there's no longer anything to it. You know, it's not gonna stick.
Okay. All right.
Takes the life out of it, bro.
Now let's bring it to like not an analogy, but why? Why does body count matter? Like in reality.
Like coochie started to sting.
I would say. All right, that's valid, but I would say because of the whole, like, I don't know, like, I believe in God and stuff, and like waiting till marriage and stuff. Like, granted, I haven't, but like people make mistakes, but I've learned from that and stuff. And I don't know, people just, they're like, oh yeah, I want to just have sex, and it's just like I want that to be special with someone, you know.
All right, this next question is DU Films question. Yo, DU Films. All right, so why is it okay for women to have standards for men without having the requirements for them? I'm gonna let DU Films take over for that one.
How's it going, guys?
Good, how are you?
So, let me hear it. What do you guys think about that?
I low-key forgot the question.
Yeah, I forgot.
All right, got you. So, what I said is that why is it okay for women to have kind of requirements for men,
Yeah.
but without having any like the certifications for it? You know what I mean?
We're gonna get
Like-
so much hate on TikTok for this, bro.
But if you want me, I'll give an example of that. Let's say we're told to be providers. We're told to be like teachers, very fundamental of the household, and we're also told to protect. Those are the three main things, down to even our lives being that line. How can we do that if the woman is not even willing to at least submit to you? And by submission, it's not about you're overpowering her, but it's more so that you're solidifying your role as a leader, as the head of the household.
Yeah, which was the expectation.
So what do you guys think?
You got that.
I don't really know. I think that women just gotta, I mean, like, if we're doing all that for them, and if they're not putting in the same, I feel like it should be 50-50. Like, if they're not putting in that too, then, like, why should I put that in? You know what I'm saying? 100%.
Based, yeah. What about you?
I would say, like, that's a hard one. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really know on that one.
Go over.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I think women's standards are too high, way too high.
In what way? Can you want to elaborate?
They just want like a certain thing from a guy, and they say this, this, and this.
Oh.
Maybe he can't, get that. Maybe she doesn't have the requirements for him to have that either.
Are you referring to like materialism? Like, let's say having a car, maybe already having a crib?
Or like a certain height. Like, granted, a type.
Ooh, that's a good one. It's something that you can't even control. You're being judged and based upon. It's kind of crazy.
Like, some of the girls I've talked to, the first thing they ask, they're like, "How tall are you?" And I'm like, bro, that shouldn't matter.
This is my last question. It's not about feminism, but it's regarding a conversation we just had with another guy, and you guys are all young white males. And I asked the guy, I asked him, I was like, what I asked him, do you feel guilty? Because he mentioned something about guilt, and I was like, why do you feel guilty about being a young white male? Like you had no control in that. You were born the way you were born. So what do you guys have to say about that?
I mean, definitely, yeah, that's the way you were born, but there's also like, I don't know, like, black people can, not saying it's a bad thing, but they kind of have this double standard where they can say anything they want about white people. Not saying I need to say anything about them, but then you kind of feel guilty like, oh, I'm part of that problem. You know, you're part of the issue there is when there's not. It's like people say all men are evil, you know, but honestly, they're not, you know, just some people are bad. You know?
I can't agree. I can't agree more. I can't agree more. That's.
You guys killed it, man. Thank you so much.